how did you feel about the production? Did you enjoy the exhibition? Was it good? Was it as good for you as it was for everyone else? Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. So, I have something a little bit different for you today. Instead of the usual flying and chatting conversation that I normally do when I go out flying, I've actually got someone who's been working on something pretty impressive here at the airfield. Joseph Robertson has been working on a photography exhibition which showcases all of the various activities that go on around the airfield. But I'm not going to get into all of the detail on it, and we're going to have a proper chat. So, Joseph.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good. And we've got an extra visitor.
I've got my furry companion Oscar with us, yes.
He's lovely. He's really cute. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and what do you normally get up to?
So, I'm originally from England, but we sort of moved over to Wales and been living there for the past majority of my life.
Yep.
And we've sort of been surrounded by, landscape and woodland, which sort of meant I was sort of always had a drive to go outside, and at some point then ended up starting taking pictures of the outside and the landscape around us. But then my parents sort of got me a proper camera,
yep.
And from that point I was then hooked on photography, wanted to do it. So I then ended up going to the University of South Wales, where I ended up doing documentary photography.
So what was it that inspired you to come to East of Scotland Microlights to work with us?
I was mainly bored of Cardiff, actually. Mainly wanted to get out of the city. I didn't sort of spent 2 and a bit years in Cardiff, and I sort of was a bit felt like there was not much there to photograph, so I wanted to get out and sort of do something a bit different. And that's when I was talking to my aunt, who is part of the club here, and we were sort of discussing about how documentary photography is about communities and things, and she was like, "Oh, well, I'm part of a community. Why don't you come up here and take pictures of them?" And here we are now.
So when did that whole process start? When did you have that conversation about getting together here at the airfield?
In documentary photography, you've got year 1, 2 and 3, and in the third year we were on our final project.
Yep.
So our final project is where it takes the longest. It's our best work from all 3 years that we make, and it's sort of the work where you're encouraged to go out, to leave Cardiff, to go abroad. After talking to my aunt about possibly coming up here, sort of caught a train up here and started visiting sort of every week when she had her flying lessons, and starting to get slowly to know all the various members of the club and
all of us nutters.
Exactly.
Okay, so from the point that you started taking photos to when you were actually in front of your PC starting to trim all of the hundreds of photos I'm sure you've taken down, how long did that process take?
So I would actually say that this project is not finished at all.
Really?
Nowhere near it. It's only just started, really. But I would say I'm happy with the images that I have right now to put an exhibition and a publication together.
Yeah.
But I would say the whole project took, I'd say, 3 months, maybe 4 months, and not hundreds, thousands of pictures. Yes, quite a few, but I'd say 3 to 4 months of actually just coming here, taking pictures.
So you managed to get up in a flex wing, or was it
flex wing? And so I would say I think I've been up equally in a flex wing and a 3-axis.
Excellent.
So yeah, I definitely enjoy the 3-axis with the heater. So that's quite a perk.
The eternal problem of us flex wing pilots freezing in the outdoor open cockpit, but that's why we have flight suits.
Yeah.
The exhibition. So tell us a little bit about what people can expect to see if they pop along to the exhibition.
when you walk into the exhibition, there will be a sort of reception desk where I will be basically all week.
Yeah.
I'll have a selection of publications, the option of a hardback and a paperback, both same pictures but just different size and different quality.
Yeah.
Then when you walk into the main room, there will be the actual exhibition of itself, which is comprised of about 14 pictures, 12 landscape, 2 portrait, and they are some of my favourite from the project, as well as just also being ones that make sense in a sequence. So they're sort of a mixture of both.
So you've got 14 pictures that are up for people to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've taken thousands of pictures, as you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get to the point of choosing which 14 images to choose?
That took, I would say, quite a long time. It's not which ones are the best, really. It's which ones make a sequence, a complete sequence.
Yeah.
Because there can be exhibitions where you can just pick your favourites, but then they don't make sense together.
Yeah.
So my hope is that when you read through the publication, you get a sense of, a day at the Microlight Club. And the same is for the exhibition. It is a day at the Microlight Club going for a flight. And that's the feeling I want people to understand, or what I want people to see in the pictures is that's someone arriving, they're having their flight, and then they're coming back, and the community around that, and things that you don't see from, most.
As a spectator.
Yeah.
When you're a trial fighter popping in, you may be completely blown away by the engines and the planes flying around, and it can be a little bit intimidating. So I guess having that story is quite an important thing to show.
Well, what struck me is when I was actually doing research for this project, I found very little pictures of what I would say is the community side of microlighting. It's very, the pictures online that you see are people going out for their flights, people standing next to their microlights, but you never see people doing the maintenance, you never see people having the coffee break.
Yeah.
You never see people just fixing the microlights or
Having a
natter, or the students who are doing their first flight, doing their 5th flight, soloing, all that sort of stuff. You very rarely see those sorts of things, which is what struck me when I came here, because there was so much of that, but so little of that was being seen by other people, I felt. So what I want is when people come and see the publication, that they not only see a day at the Microlight Club, but they also see the community, the strong community that is involved with this whole thing. And I would say the reason people fly is, it's 50% is because there's other people there.
Absolutely. You also get a lot of people who tend to just come to the club without even leaving the ground, and they just come for a chat, see people that they know and they like, that they have something in common with. So you're absolutely right. I guess I'm probably slightly guilty of that myself, where I come in, I film me flying, and then that's kind of it. But we don't really show very much about what the culture is like of a club like this, because it is very unique and it's special as well, in a way.
The interesting thing is when you're so involved in a community, it's often hard to see sort of the uniqueness and the interest that it could pose for other people, because that's something that I find hilarious is I'll take all these pictures and then I'll come in and people will say, oh, I didn't know that we did that.
Hopefully they know we do the maintenance. The exhibition, when is that actually running?
I'm setting up on the 25th, so there won't be an exhibition that day, but on the 26th is the opening day. It's from 11 until 5 o'clock, and that will run until Saturday the 30th of September. I will be leaving all the remaining work and the publications that are left over from the exhibition. They will all be still around in Scotland, but the publications will be available in the East of Scotland Microlight Club for people to look at and buy if they want to.
Okay.
So they will still be here and very much available for people to have a look at.
For people that are not local or based here at USM, is there an option for people to see your work or to get access to the book?
So I do have an Instagram where I did post a couple pictures from the actual project, but I have not got a way currently to buy the book online, so you'll just have to come in person for now. But if I do come out with a link for people to buy the book, then I will definitely make sure that we update this video.
Let me know.
Yeah.
So if at some point the book is made available for publication, I will update the description of this video. So make sure you have a look at the description below. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that if there's any changes or updates, you'll be first in line to hear all about it. So out of all of the time that you spent with us here at the club, is there a particular moment that you can think of which was like, I totally understand why these people do what they do?
I think it was near the end of my stay here when Ian from my aunt's syndicate took me up to above 9,000 feet, above the clouds, and you'll see the picture in the exhibition, but
yep,
absolutely beautiful. And I can see why people do fly, because it is just absolutely beautiful up there. And then when you come back down, you've got this really vibrant community that just loves talking about flying.
Everything to do with aviation. We'll yak about it for hours. So we'll flip that question around slightly and go the other way, which is, in the time that you were here, was there ever a point where you thought, why do these people do this? As in, what are they thinking?
There was the one time where Jim came up to me and sort of held a disc in his hand, and he said, "Don't you know how much this costs?" And he told me, and I was like, "Well, is it important?" And he's like, "Well, I can't fly without it."
There's the cost benefit that you go through when you decide to take this up as your hobby, I guess. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Out of all of the pictures that are in your exhibition, have you got a favourite?
No.
They're all your
baby? I don't have a particular one that I can nail as my favourite, because the project, it's not about the one picture. That's the one thing about documentary photography, is it's not about that one picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the group. It's about the group of pictures that make the project. Yeah. So I'd have to say that there's multiple favourites.
Multiple favourites. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the opportunity for the project to continue, which is really great news.
Yeah.
And so does that mean we could potentially be seeing another exhibition as a bit of a follow-up?
Yeah, not anytime soon, I would say. Projects that you do end up taking quite a long time to be called complete.
Yeah.
If I was to call this work complete, that might be a few years down the line, when I've actually seen like multiple seasons of the East of Scotland Microlights photographed the club during those different periods of time, and really gotten to know most of the members and things like that, because my current project is very sort of limiting in the people who were involved in it. They were just sort of the people who were around at the time.
Yeah.
That I was there. But I know that this club is quite expansive. There's a lot of people. There's people from other airfields that also come here, and if I was to really delve into this whole project, I would go and visit those other airfields. So this work is, as I say, just what I've done for my third year project, but to call it complete, I'd have to spend a few more years photographing things.
Okay.
So maybe there'll be an exhibition sometime in a few years.
Joseph Robertson coming to an airfield near you, by the sounds of it. We'll see. That'll be really interesting. What would you say to somebody on the street to get them to come along to your exhibition?
The main people who I want to see the work are the people at the club.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones who made it all possible.
Yeah.
And if anyone else wants to come and see that, that's amazing.
Excellent.
And if anyone else, when going to this exhibition, thinks, I might want to try that, I might want to be involved in that community, then that's the best outcome I could probably ask for. Because I really do think that a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, and I think that's what I want this exhibition to be, is to show what happens at a club.
Okay, brilliant. So thank you, Joseph, for spending some time with us today. It's been really interesting, and for those of you who are in the Dunbar area, I will be putting some information up on the local Facebook groups and also on this video, just for you to see exactly where you can go to have a look at the exhibition. For all you pilots out there, keep safe, fly well, and I shall speak to you all in the next episode.